Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with the kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Off the Cut, episode 67. We're up in Toronto. Today is known as Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. But here in Ohio, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day, mint julep.
Yeah, okay. Another one, I just don't know what the hell it is.
So the mint julep is like, I think it's like the horse racing, like Kentucky Derby, like classic drink.
Okay, it's another drink. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Derek. Okay, that looks yummy. I drink that. It kind of looks like a mojito.
Yeah, so it's bourbon, sugar, water, ice, and mint. I'm
Okay.
down.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That sounds
I'm
nice.
down for it. Okay.
It's like drinking a pack of gum.
Yeah. Wait. They say the first question, I always like Googling things and seeing what's the first question that comes up.
Yeah.
Why is the mint julep so expensive?
Oh.
So the normal price of a mint julep at Churchill Downs hovers around $11 a cup. That's pretty normal for a cocktail at some sort of sporting event.
Yeah.
But for the swanky spenders, the concoction can be priced at $1,000 plus, purely because it's sometimes sold in a 24-karat gold-plated souvenir cup with a silver straw.
That's a good margin. That is a good margin. I mean, like an ounce of silver is like $20 or something like that. And then gold plating is like
Not much.
not that much.
No.
Gold is actually a really interesting element. You can like hammer it super, super thin. Like all that gold leaf and stuff. A lot of time that's real gold. It's just like stretched so thin. Oh
Right.
yeah, Derek's got a photo of it. I mean, oh, look at that gold. You actually get like an ounce of silver right at the top of that straw from the looks of it.
Looks like a silver. What's the word? I'm gonna come up with a word, and I'm sure
Okay.
you guys are gonna laugh at me because it's gonna be the wrong word, isn't it? Isn't it called like a dinget of metal or something like that?
Ingot.
Ingot. Okay, I was close.
Yeah, you're close. You're close. Yeah.
Huh.
I think an ingot is one of the bars. I should look this up. I think an ingot is a bar, and then like maybe Derek can just pull up a picture of an ingot. It's like that shape, that classic bar shape.
What they store at Fort Knox.
Exactly.
In the US.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. There's a good conspiracy for you there, right? All
Is
the
it-
gold is like, I don't know, they melted it down and shipped it somewhere else or something.
Right, because didn't somebody like try to do the math and they're like, yeah, well, if you actually look at like the volume of all the vaults there and then try to like estimate how much gold they say they have,
Yeah.
if you add up all the volume of the ingots, it like wouldn't actually fit in there or something like that. I don't know.
I'll do you one better than that.
Oh, hit me.
There's people who have done the math, and I haven't, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass a little bit here, but the trading volume for gold, like more gold gets traded, and there's derivative contracts on more gold that gets traded than actually exists. So basically, it means that somewhere in the system is a bunch of fake gold, essentially, or somebody trading on gold, trading like derivative contracts on gold that they don't actually have. It's really interesting.
Sounds like the 2008 housing crisis,
Yeah, it's not far off.
right? Where it's just like, yeah, we'll make loans on money we don't have.
Yeah. We'll make loans on houses we don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the old conspiracy. Well, I want to jump into something right from the get-go
Okay.
that I brought up earlier, Zach, but you said you had not heard of it.
Yes.
So everyone and their mother and father, cousins, and people you probably don't even know all share the exact same Netflix account.
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
Well, now that's over.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have heard of this.
So on like Wednesday or Thursday, Netflix put out some PR release, basically like cracking down on the password sharing game.
Yeah.
And I had talked about it this weekend with some friends and whatnot. They hadn't been hit with it. Miranda and I got hit with it, I think Thursday or Friday night. We tried to log in, and I actually know who owns the account. It's my parents.
Okay, I was going to say, that was my follow-up question. Whose account are you actually using?
Right, it's my parents. And it basically, gave us something of like a link to that PR statement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And just said like, hey, this isn't the primary household. Like you can switch this to your primary household, but then it's going to log everybody else off.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can pay like an additional like $8 or $9 a month to add an additional user or something like that. And you're like, I get it, but also like I was thinking of like so many different things. Like, let's say that you travel a lot, Zach.
Yes.
And everywhere you go, you try to sign into Netflix, and it's just like, oh, you don't live in Nebraska. Oh, you don't live in like Saskatchewan. Like, and you're like, no, it is me. Like, genuinely, how do you come up with a process that allows you to use your account and like abuse the sharing thing?
For sure. I mean, I guess you would have to tie it to the device, but then it gets a little weird because like what if like I have like 8 devices, right? I'm constantly like switching back and forth between them, and then Sophie's got like 5 or 6 devices too. So I don't know, it gets pretty interesting pretty quick. I get why Netflix does it, because everybody shares. There's basically just one Netflix account that everybody shares as far as I'm concerned, right? We used to use Sophie's old roommate's account, but we do actually now legitimately pay for our own.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting. So so here's my question to you, as somebody who's gotten hit with this. Are you now going to register your own account, or are you just not going to watch Netflix?
Well, Netflix is the only service, truly the only service that we actually use. Like, we don't have cable.
Yeah, same.
We really don't use like Hulu. We don't really use like HBO. Like, Netflix is pretty much the only thing that we watch, and we watch like maybe. If I told you that we watched an hour of TV one day, that would be like crazy for us.
Right.
We're typically like 20, maybe 40 minutes, like 2 episodes of Seinfeld max.
So you didn't answer my question though. Are you gonna pony up the $8 a month, or?
Yeah. Well, honestly, we're just gonna get our own account. I'm not even gonna try to be like an authorized user or anything like that. We'll just get our own account.
That would be funny, just adding yourself as an authorized user to your parents' account and just increasing their bill $8 or $9 a month.
Oh, that would be funny. They wouldn't even notice.
They probably wouldn't notice. In a similar vein, I share my Amazon Prime account with a lot of people. Not just the Prime Video, but like the free shipping.
Hell yeah. Like, why wouldn't? I think you can set up like a household thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I have like 8 different addresses on my Amazon Prime account. I'm just firing stuff off to different places.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. But I guess, Netflix is hurting for cash, I suspect.
Yeah, weren't they down like pretty deep or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, their whole thing was always they're just going to borrow money, keep creating content, keep getting new subscribers, and eventually it'll work itself out. But I don't know. I think we're hitting that eventually, and it's not really working out the way they thought it would. So,
I mean, look at like the crap that they've been putting out recently. Like,
well, it's interesting. I remember when Netflix first started. Netflix, like a Netflix movie, or a Netflix TV show, they were all like super high quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you had like House of Cards. I'm trying to think of something.
Haunting of Bly Manor and
Yeah.
Whatever the other one, like some good stuff.
But eventually they slid into this position where I have friends who work in the film industry, and kind of like the reputation is like you shop around your project to like a bunch of different studios.
Right.
And then if nobody wants it, then you try and sell it to Netflix, because they're just kind of like this, I don't know, black hole where content goes to die. Mm-hmm. They'll buy anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I could live without Netflix.
I could honestly live without all of it. Like,
yeah. I'll just go back to pirating things back in the day like I used to.
Right. Yeah. I do have to say, Derek brought up a funny tweet. Blockbuster said something along the lines of, what Derek, what'd they say? I don't want to butcher it because they pulled it up real nice. A friendly reminder that when you used to rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with, as long as you returned it on time. And they tagged Netflix. Like, that's amazing.
Who do you think runs the Blockbuster Twitter account now? Like, Derek, can you see? Are you actually on Twitter right now? Do they tweet regularly?
Blockbuster still has a website.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think there are still a couple Blockbusters in operation.
There's one.
And it's okay. It's in Denver, Colorado. That's good. That's good marketing. I like that.
Yeah, let's see here. They post daily.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Every couple days.
They get pretty good engagement. They're doing better than I am. Shit. Well, this is explicit, by the way.
I didn't get very far. But I mean,
yeah.
So Blockbuster website still now has a landing page that says, we are working on rewinding your movie.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's like they're coming back?
Maybe. I mean, what could they do other than a streaming service, though? Like, I am so nostalgic for Blockbuster. Like, I used to really enjoy going there with like my high school girlfriend, picking out a movie, getting some popcorn. Yeah. It was a fun like little experience. But if you brought Blockbuster back today, I'm not going renting no DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever.
I don't even have a DVD player.
Yeah, I think the only reason I do is because I have like a PlayStation that would play them. But I don't have like a dedicated DVD player.
So it wouldn't work because I mean,
and everybody needs another streaming platform. Like they need a hole in the head, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, now, like I remember when the streaming stuff first came out, everybody was thinking, "Oh man, my cable bill's like $150 a month. $15 for Netflix, no problem."
It was $7 or $8 back in the day too. That's the other thing. It's like it's doubled in price, right. And now it's got all this competition.
It's still better than the Green Suiters podcast. That's all I guess.
That's true. Hey, we're talking about all this content going to Netflix to die. Maybe Green Suiters will be featured on Netflix soon.
They'll be on there soon. They'll probably be right in line. I bet the last Blockbuster makes it longer than the Green Suiters podcast.
Oh, interesting. That's
just a prediction.
Okay.
Prediction. But enough talk about a Blockbuster. Let's talk about wedge salads.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That was the food of the day from a couple weeks ago. So how's that house? Did you finish that house yet? Or because you said it's still the week from hell, which leads me to believe you got callbacks.
Yeah. It's just when I think I got out, they dragged me back in. Or what's that quote? I don't know. That's an old mob movie quote. I don't know old movies, so sue me.
You mean like putting a dead horse's head in somebody's bed?
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to go back, and it's actually not bad. It's not like, oh, there's all these callbacks that I'm getting. It's just there's a bunch of exterior stuff that the client wanted done. So now he wants us to like paint his like the porch, like restain all the deck around back. It's like all these little things that are just adding up. And it's like, paying client, you want them to have a good experience when you renovate their house. So you don't want to say like, no, F off. I'm not going to do like all these other little jobs at the end of the job.
Right.
So it's kind of a PR move, but man, I am so done with that project. I'm hoping I can get all the outside stuff done by the end of this week. And be like actually done, but we'll see if that actually works out that way.
So is it stuff that's like in scope of the initial project requirements, or is it kind of like a, hey, while you're here?
It's a little column A, a little column B. There's a punch list of like 10 items, 5 of which are original scope, 5 of which are not. So it's, I don't know, it's not too bad, but it's just, I was emotional. You know, when you're like, it feels like going to summer school.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like end of the year. It's like you write your final exam. You're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm ready for summer. And then you figure out, oh no, I flunked math. I had to go back.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to burn all these pages. I'm done with this. I'm over this project.
Exactly.
Nope.
No. So that's my life right now. But, you know, fingers crossed. End of this week, I'm done.
So you think you can get through the whole list by the end of the week?
I hope so. Maybe a little bit into next week, but I'm hoping if that's the case, I can just have some of my employees do it and I don't actually have to be hands-on with it.
So you can just like walk away from the site and be done?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be take all your tools back?
Oh yeah. Took all the tools back. So now it's every day I got to play this fun game of like, okay, let's pull the saws out of the back of the truck, set them up in the backyard. And yeah.
So what's the worst thing on that list that they asked you to do when you saw it? You're like, oh gosh, no.
Repaint and restain the entire front facade of the house. Because it's an old house, so it's all crumbling, so it all has to be sanded, it all has to be reprimed, and then it all has to be painted, and then the whole deck has to be stained.
So I didn't even think about this. If you're like redoing an exterior, painting, priming, sanding or whatnot, you're screwed if you have inclement weather, right?
Oh yeah, full stop on all work.
So like let's just hypothetically say you put on primer today.
Yeah.
And then tonight it rains.
Yeah.
It wasted.
No, you know what? So many of the paint products these days are just jam full of drying agents. So honestly, I'll lay up a coat and then come back 15 minutes later, it'll be dry to the touch.
Okay.
And an hour later, you'll be ready for your second coat.
Right. As long as a hurricane's not coming through, you're okay.
Yeah, as long as the sun's shining when you put it up, then you should be good to go. Unless something really crazy happens. But it's interesting. So things dry very quickly, especially in this weather. I don't know what it's like in Ohio, but it's warm here in Toronto right now. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're right about the same page.
I think that's like 29 or 30.
Yeah. You can't do any exterior painting when temperatures are below 0 or below, I don't know, whatever, 40
32
degrees for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Toronto, we have this thing where it's like, you can really only do a lot of exterior work when the sun is shining. So you get a lot of people like delaying stuff until these kind of months. And then it becomes this mad rush to get all your exterior projects done.
I can't imagine painting the exterior of a home is a pleasurable experience.
No, and you're working at heights, right. And I got my first sunburn of the season on my arm here, so yeah, it's good times though. Good times.
Do you typically spray outside?
No, not really. Not unless there's a big volume to do. It's all just brush and roller.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were painting an entire, if it was vinyl siding and you were repainting that, you'd spray it. For sure.
But we're doing trim and stuff like that. So it's a lot of brush work. And it's a lot of trim where it runs into brick. So it's a lot of brush work.
Ugh. Can you imagine having to mask all that off?
Oh, yeah. No. I honestly, I see a lot of these guys. There's a fun follow, Alpha Pro Painting. He's a nice guy. I've met him a couple times in real life on Instagram. And he does everything spraying. And these guys who spray everything, I have a lot of respect for them because they must spend so much time masking stuff off. They must spend 90% of their day just masking off a whole house. And then the last 10% is, okay, spray, pull the masking, and then they're out of there. It's really interesting.
I can tell you for a fact that if I ever build something like kitchen cabinets and I'm like, ooh, I want to like make them with like pre-finished birch and then like paint them white on the outside or something like that. No way in hell will you ever see me painting that. I will 1000% pay someone to do that.
Here, I'll one-up you. There's a lot of cabinet refurbishing places. So you pull all the doors off your cabinet, wrap them up in cardboard, send them to somebody, they spray them, send them back, you put them back up. That's how I would do it 100% of the time.
It is not worth your time. And someone is always going to be able to have a faster, better, easier process than you. And like if I do it in my garage, it's going to have paint speckles like crazy. There's going to be hairs. There's going to be dust.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah. Screw it. Not worth it.
I'm not doing that. But I'm glad to hear it's almost over. You have faith this is going to be the last week.
Yeah, I do. I do. So let's stop talking about work and let's talk about your vacation from the weekend. Did you do some scuba diving? Was that the trip?
No.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I wish. Scuba diving is going to be this week. So
okay.
I think Miranda's actually finishing her scuba diving online class thingy right now.
Nice.
But no, this weekend, every Memorial Day and 4th of July, we go to my buddy's like lake house with his family and stuff like that.
Right. You did tell me this.
And they finally finished the renovation. And so we no longer had to camp out there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's nice. We golfed a little bit, just hung out. We did some fishing. We fished 2.5 days, like pretty much straight.
Cool.
And none of us caught a single thing.
Well, you probably all caught some good memories. I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Is somebody getting arrested in the background?
Yeah, I think there's something going on outside. I live in a dangerous neighborhood.
It's probably somebody from Green Suitors podcast getting arrested.
Probably. I have my annual houseboat trip booked for a couple weekends from now, 2-3 weekends from now. So I was talking to the guys. I was like, "Are we going to do some fishing on this trip? Should I get a fishing rod?" And everybody was very in on the fishing thing. I don't think we're going to catch anything, but
that's not the point.
Yeah,
it's not the point. The key to having a good time fishing is a comfortable chair.
Oh yeah,
ample amount of cold beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some salty snacks to munch on, and I'll let you take your choice if you want music or no music.
No music.
But if it's going to be music, it's going to be very light, like very just kind of like elevator music level. Like if somebody's blasting music, get out, get the hell out.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to do it, a houseboat is a great fun little trip you can do with a bunch of your buddies.
So is it just you guys on there, or are you with like 50 other people or whatever?
No, it's just us.
Okay.
It's basically like renting an RV that floats.
Okay. So who dons the steering wheel of the houseboat?
You know what? So we basically, last time we did it, we would just trade off. A houseboat is so slow. You could literally you could be heading towards the shore, going right at the shore, and you could walk away from the controls and, go fix yourself a sandwich and then come back and you still wouldn't have run aground. So it's very loosey-goosey. People just walk away from the controls. Somebody else picks it up for a little bit.
Right.
The one we rented had redundant steering. So you could steer from inside in the kitchen, or you could go up to the top deck and there's another steering wheel up there that you could steer from. So that was fun.
You gotta be steering from the top deck.
Oh, of course.
Does it come with a mandatory captain's hat?
No. So it was funny. Last year, when you rent it, no captain's hat included. That's just kind of a bummer. But simultaneously, 3 or 4 of us had the idea to buy ridiculous captain's hats, not unlike your hot dog shirt. Yeah, and so we all just showed up with variations on the captain's hat. It was fun.
Oh, I love that idea. So how much does it cost to rent one of these houseboat things?
I think it was like $1,000 for the weekend, but split between 6 guys or something like that. It's not so bad.
So you get 6 bedrooms, or somebody's got like a pull-out sofa or something?
Buddy, 6 bedrooms. Come on, no. This is like there's like a bed and then 2 pull-out couches. We're roughing it.
Yeah. I feel like, dude, I'm too old to use a pull-out like sofa couch. Like,
yeah.
You sleep on the bar and you wake up and you feel like your back's gonna explode in half.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I think last year we had 2 beds and 2 pull-out couches. But one night we just pulled up on a beach, and one of us brought a tent. A couple of guys slept out on the beach. Some of us slept in the boat. So, yeah, good times.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So I will have the people know, and I posted this on Patreon, the reason that episode, what are we on, 67?
Yeah.
66 was late.
Did you blame it on me?
Oh, you bet I did. You bet I did. Zach texted me at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock or so on Saturday night. He's like, hey, just got the podcast down. I was like, dude, I'm out of town. I don't have my laptop. It's going to have to wait till Monday. Did I get it out yesterday? No, I think I got it out this morning.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it went out this morning.
Listeners, we apologize. Life gets in the way. The reality is, like, we have a blast doing this, but I'm not dismantling my entire life to post an episode of the podcast.
I mean, some things are better done from a desktop computer. Like,
right.
You know, like, okay, say a brand sends you a contract. You're like, I'm sure I could open this on my phone. I could do the little signature thing with my finger. I could put it all there. Personally, I'm not going to do that. I am going to wait till I can sit down at my desk. I can, I have my like big screen. I got my comfortable keyboard, my mouse. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a boomer at heart, but
I'm the same way.
There are certain things I just won't do on the phone.
Ooh, here's another one.
Okay.
I'm going to rapid fire some to you.
Okay.
Buying tickets.
Oh, no way.
Laptop? Are you desktop only?
Desktop only.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Dinner reservations.
If I'm desperate, I would do that from a phone.
I do it from a phone.
If there's an app, because there often is, there's like the Open Table and a whole bunch of other ones that'll let you do it. So that's usually pretty streamlined for mobile. So that I will do from a phone. What else you got?
Ordering food.
I mean, obviously do that from a phone. I use like Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and all these things.
Okay.
What about you?
Purchasing something expensive. Let's say you're going to buy a new laptop.
No, desktop only.
Okay. So you're going to buy a new can opener on Amazon.
That I will do mobile. So here's the thing. I feel like I'm more prone to making mistakes. There's more risk involved. I might accidentally, I'm buying the laptop. I might select the wrong configuration.
Yeah.
End up with 32 gigabytes of RAM when I wanted 64 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Hey, what if your laptop goes out at your house and all you got is your phone? Do you order it on your phone or do you go into the store?
Good question. I might be a psycho and just go to the store.
I would rather get hit by a car than have to go to a store and deal with a salesperson.
That's true. I didn't think about dealing with a salesperson. That's tough.
I mean, I maybe would do an in-store pickup. You ordered a new laptop or whatever. You got it all jazzed up online. And then you're just like, it'll be ready tomorrow morning. You pick it up. I'd be like,
yes, I will do that. Here, if I can expedite the process, if its shipping is 2 weeks or I could pick it up tomorrow, I'll pick it up tomorrow if I'm pretty excited about the purchase.
Right, but if its shipping is 2 weeks or in-store pickup is 2 weeks, why the hell would I waste my time going to the store?
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Is there any shopping experience that you prefer to do in person? And don't say restaurant because, come on, that's cheating.
Prefer to do in person.
Yeah.
I would say anything that is hyper specific of having to fit absolutely perfectly or something that I'm not super knowledgeable about. So for example, we bought a bunch of scuba gear.
Yeah. Good example.
Your mask has to fit super well on your face or it's just going to be leaking water like crazy. And
you smear Vaseline everywhere.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They actually said that you should use chapstick because it's not petroleum based.
Huh. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So if you're ever in a situation where you get a leaky mask, cover your face in chapstick.
Okay.
Okay. But like something like that, like I'm not super knowledgeable about scuba stuff, so I was like, well, we should just go to the store. I can try on 1,000 different masks and see what I find that I like. But with like shoes, I'll order like 8 pairs of shoes and then just keep one. Oh hell yeah!
I'll order Nikes because I know Nike sizing.
Right.
That's kind of like my go-to brand for just running shoes.
Sure.
So I've been like a 10.5 or an 11 in Nikes for like my entire life.
Right.
So those I will order online. But if I was going to get a pair of New Balances, I don't know New Balance sizing, so I wouldn't do that. But you're saying you'll just order a bunch and send back the ones you don't like?
Yes, because I worked at a shoe store in college, and that's the last place I want to go to.
Oh, you're worried you're going to run into some of your old friends.
No, I just like it is a terrible place of the world. Look, I gotta buy this cleaner. It's like, fuck off. No, I'm not buying any of this stuff.
Oh, you don't like the upsell?
Hell no.
Yeah, and that's why you wouldn't buy your laptop at a Best Buy too, because they try and hit you with the extended warranty.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair.
By the way, I've been meaning to call. Somebody's been calling me about my car's extended warranty.
Oh.
Gotta call.
We should do some of those calls on the show. If you get one, you'd be like, hey, you're live on the air on the Off the Cut podcast.
Oh my god, wait, hold on. Now I gotta see if I've got like a phone number. Voicemail, deleted messages. Oh gosh, I bet I can find one.
They don't typically leave voicemails for me. I get a whole bunch of different scam calls.
Central Ohio, 643. If you could give me a call back, if you're convenient, we can talk about our next meeting. Looking forward to having you as our guest speaker. My phone number is 419.
I don't think that's extended warranty. That was somebody trying to book you for a speaking engagement.
Oh, here's one. Here's one.
Paraquat and have been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
If you no longer wish to be contacted, press 2 to be removed from future communication.
Huh. I don't know.
So you have Parkinson's.
Allegedly. I don't know. That was from December of 2022.
I was going to say that first one. So these car extended warranty scam calls you get, is it actually a real person or is it a recording?
It's always a recording. Oh, okay. You don't get them. It's a U.S. thing. They're huge.
It's a U.S. Yeah, I mean, we have our own special breed of them up here, but I've never had the car extended warranty. What did we get?
Yeah.
I get a lot of duct cleaning.
Oh.
Where and so the duct cleaning one is actually interesting because I don't think it's 100% a scam. I saw some YouTube video where a guy did a deep dive into it, and they will legitimately send somebody out to your house, but it's like the person will come and they'll just do a really crappy job. They'll spend like 5 minutes cleaning one duct, and then they'll charge you $150 and get out of there.
Or is it something where they come and they go, "Oh, Zach,
maybe that's what it was.
We need to replace your compressor."
Yeah, that's what
air
it was.
Handler. All of your vents are covered in mold. We need to replace your ducting, your vent work, everything in your house. And you just go, "Oh my goodness, really?"
So I think what it was, now that you've jogged my memory, is that the company that calls you for duct cleaning is not actually a big company that has a fleet of trucks. They get these leads and then they sell them to local contractors and say, hey, this person has agreed to duct cleaning. And so the local contractor comes out and they do like 5 minutes duct cleaning, and then they hit you with all these extras that you could do to, optimize your system, replace your air filter for $300 or something like that.
That's one of those things. I mean, it's same with like house stuff, car stuff. I feel like if you're not moderately knowledgeable, it's real easy to get screwed.
Yes, 100%.
Like, I mean, I feel like you could be the same way with woodworking stuff. Like, let's say
Sure.
you know nothing about woodworking.
Oh, you want red oak. Red oak is the most expensive of woods. It's the most premium wood possible.
But like, let's say you walk into, I don't know, you walk into like a Rockler or something like that, and when you go buy a bunch of stuff, the salesperson could be like, "Oh man, they're running some specialty on, I don't know, whatever clamps."
Mm-hmm.
And if I sell these, I get like a huge commission, but they're really
Right.
not that great clamps that we
Yeah.
need to move it. But this guy's never woodworked before, so I can probably just hawk these off on this person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the person who I really try to educate myself about anything that I'm buying,
Yeah.
just so I'm moderately intelligible about it.
Yes. Me too.
I
Yeah.
actually kind of enjoy researching that kind of stuff, though.
For sure. Like going on a deep dive before making a big purchase,
Yeah,
it's pretty enjoyable.
right.
But the thing is, you always end up spending way more money once you start researching a topic.
Oh yeah,
Because you start with an idea of what you want. You're like, okay, I'm going to get this scuba tank. That's like, people recommend the scuba tank. And then you start getting into the stats of what makes a good scuba tank.
right.
And you're like, oh, this one actually has 500 more PSI. I could probably stay underwater for like 10 minutes longer if I got
Yeah.
that tank.
Right.
And it's only $200 more. That's probably worth it. And before you know it, you have like the top of the line scuba tank.
And think of it like, I think something that most people could probably identify better with would be, let's take a table saw.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, okay, you're buying your first table saw and you go, yeah, I mean, I just want to take plywood, take whatever, cut it. Well,
Yeah,
a
just
job
need to be
site
able
saw.
to rip some plywood.
Yeah, right. Well, why don't I just get a portable job site saw? Then you
Perfect.
go, oh, but if I spend a little bit more now I've researched on it, I can get one that has a cast iron top.
Oh, that sounds kind of nice.
I do need this thing to be flat. Huh.
And it's be more stable if it had a cast iron top.
Yeah. Oh, and then you can get one that comes with a base on it. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I never
Nice
thought
dust
about
collection
it.
in the base.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to collect dust better. Oh, wait. I can find one that if I accidentally touch it, the blade will just go away. But
Okay.
you can see how you can fairly quickly go from spending $200 to $300 to spending $4,000.
100%. 100%.
Just because you researched it. And you might be somebody who is going to use this table saw 3 times a year, and you just bought a $4,000 table saw.
I've been guilty of that many times. I'm trying to think what the
Oh,
most
wow.
egregious example of that is in my life. Although I find if I spend enough time researching something and I get really invested in it, I will make sure I use that thing once I get it. There's been very few purchases that I've just let collect dust after
I
reading
feel
them.
like you are someone who's probably guilty of falling in that trap with like a lot of your tech related stuff.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Derek's trying to say the domino.
The domino.
A stool domino.
He's not wrong.
See, I use mine all the damn time though.
Yeah.
It's become almost like a joke on my channel. Every time I use it, I do the Michael Scott thing that's like, no, God, no. Get people going on that one. But
I do
I'm
enjoy
trying to
that
think of
meme.
anything else I've just spent. Oh, okay. I think everyone is guilty of this.
Okay.
Everyone I know has played the game, even when you have no ambition of buying a new car.
hmm
Every once in a while, it's fun to go on the car website.
The online configurator.
Right.
I have wasted countless hours on the online configurator.
And we've not even talked about this, but I know you were guilty of doing the thing where you like, should I get the 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive? I mean, if I'm buying this car, I might as well get the 4-wheel drive. Do I need the paint protection? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to mess up the paint. And like, you start going from whatever this car is, $29,000 car. You get to the end and you're like, $64,000.
Yes. I think so. It's funny you bring this up because I think one, the F-150 has the greatest range of like the lowest price trim to the highest price trim.
Oh yeah.
Because you can get like a $20,000 short cab 2-wheel drive, or you can go all the way up to like the crew cab with massaging seats, and it's $100,000.
Sure.
It's like an insane chasm. And I'm one of these guys who goes on the configurator, and so my truck is so stupid. I bought it specifically because it was like, it has just every option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the massaging seats?
I have massaging seats in my truck.
Jesus. So you're just driving down the road getting your rear end massaged.
That is right. My butt is being caressed as I sit in traffic.
So tell me about this. Is it like a vibration? God.
No, okay. So it's interesting. No, this is a good
not?
question. This is a good question. It's interesting technology. There's a series of airbags inside the seat, and they inflate like one at a time. So it's kind of this like rolling sensation. So there's a set in the back and then a set in the seat.
Okay.
So it kind
nice?
of feels like somebody's like rolling pressure against your butt and your lower back.
Okay.
It's great for unwinding stress.
Hey, I don't want to know how deep that massage is. So is it only drivers or passenger as well?
Passenger too.
Oh.
Sophie never uses it. It drives me nuts.
Okay. Now, can you stack the features? Like, can you have the heated seats on while you're getting a massage?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Heated, air conditioned, whatever you want.
Oh, man. Man, you were talking me into this. I need to get my
It's pretty
backside
nice.
caress while I drive.
It's pretty nice.
Huh.
I can't wait till I get a self-driving car so that I can just be, going 75 miles down the interstate, lean back, car's doing all the work, getting a massage, answering a text message.
Lean back, close your eyes, and you're like, ooh, a little to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it'll be like, adjusting a little to the left.
Yeah.
Or whatever Siri noise that makes.
Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of, come on, we get sidetracked. Cars. Any luck on that F-150?
No, that's what. Once I'm done this job and I have a little bit more free time, one of my things is to just call this dealer and give them hell. I think at this point I might just ask for my money back and buy a Dodge Ram.
Have you
Just for spite.
considered-
Just for spite.
Yeah, go to the park.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before you go to the park, you're going to go to your local grocery store, whatever retailer you want. You're going to go down the aisle that's got napkins,
Okay.
Ziploc bags, and you're going to
Sure.
find the brown paper lunch bags.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how many you buy,
Mm-hmm.
but you need at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the local dog park.
Yes, I think I know where this is going.
You know that there's going to be someone that takes their dog there, takes Fifi to the park,
Mm-hmm.
and allows Fifi to defecate on the ground and doesn't pick it up.
Yes.
You're going to swoop in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pick up Fifi's excrement with this brown paper bag. You're going to go to the dealership.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to set it on someone's desk, and you're going to light it on fire.
I think that's a good plan.
You'll get your car.
Yeah? You think that after I do that I'll get my car?
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Okay.
Do you think it's one of those things? Here's a conspiracy.
Hmm.
Do you think it's one of those things that they know that they can probably get someone else to pay more than what you agreed to pay for it, so they don't want to sell it to you?
Yeah, of course. I feel like we've talked about this. Maybe it was in the after show, but I'm convinced they ordered a truck for me. That truck came in. Then they sold it to somebody off the street because they knew that the going rate was like $30,000 more than what the MSRP was on it.
Right.
So I'm 100% convinced that's what they've done. And that's why they're dodging me and they're not answering my phone calls or any of my emails.
That's so shitty.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like, should I make a stink about it on social media?
You could.
I mean, it's kind of a shitty practice, but like I feel like it's a little petty on my part, but it's also I want them to feel a little bit of pain.
It's too bad it wasn't an Infinity because you had that tie-in with Infinity.
I know. Well, it's funny. A couple Infinity dealers have messaged me and like, "Hey, if you ever want an Infinity, like, we'll take care of you. Like, we'll give you a good deal. Come check out like whatever you want." So,
I don't believe any car salesman when they say, "Tell me anything."
No, of course not. Of course not.
That's the biggest scam in the book.
Car sales in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just hate having to dick around. Like,
yeah.
Well, how much you want? How much is the car? Well, how much do you want to pay? Well, how much are you going to sell for? Well, actually, let me go ask my manager. It's like, fuck, just say it's this amount and move on.
I remember when I bought my last truck, I went in, they had a price. I had a number in my head. I said, I am willing to pay this price for this truck.
Right.
I'll make it a real simple transaction for you. If you agree to my price, I will write you a check for it, and then I will just drive out of here with it.
Right.
And they're like, no, we really can't do that price. Like, oh, we just can't make those numbers work. I was like, okay, no problem. Like, left. And I just a week later, I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow up. And I sent them an email and I said, I'm still willing to pay X amount of dollars for this vehicle. Right. They're like, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Right.
And I was like, why couldn't you just agree to it while I was there? Why do we have to do this dance, this back and forth dance?
It's infuriating. But I know the whole thing is like a lot of people wouldn't have that self-discipline. They go, oh, okay, well,
yes,
whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, great, I just made extra couple $1,000 off this guy, which is probably like straight commission for them.
Yeah. It is wild if you think about like how, like, so buy a car is a perfect example of this. Once you get up past, $20,000, you're like, $2,000 this way, $2,000 that way. Not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Like you would have to work, I don't know how many days, but that's like days of work that you could save by just having discipline and negotiating a little bit on the purchase price.
Oh yeah. And I think that's also the allure of getting like people that want to put it on payments as opposed to just writing a check. Like you write a check for extra $2,000, you feel that versus
that's a good point.
It's $4 extra a month, like whatever.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, but pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Hopefully none of our listeners are car salesmen.
I'm sure we've offended at least one person. You know what? I think if you were an honest car salesperson, you'd be like, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of shitty people in this industry.
Oh, God.
Like, as a contractor, I get it when people are upset with contractors who are scam artists.
Right.
I
mean, the thing I always hear about like contractors, people always say, if you want to start a contracting business, you'll have no shortage of work if you're honest and you show up on time.
Yeah.
And like, that sucks that's the, like, obviously it's not 100% true, but like, that sucks that's the barrier of entry.
It's pretty true though. Like even dealing with subcontractors, it's really hard to get anybody to stick to any sort of schedule. That's a big one. Just showing up on time. Showing up when you say you're going to show up.
But I mean, like working for my time working a corporate job, just showing up to work.
Yeah.
Is like, people are like, man, this person shows up at 8. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy that's what we've gotten to.
Well, people. I don't understand these people who like won't show up to work. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just okay with it. Like, it's no big deal. I just didn't show up that day. And you're like, really? You're like,
when I worked at Finish Line, the shoe store, dude. That happened all the time. People be like, you'd call them and you'd be like, hey, Jenny, are you coming in? Nah. Just don't feel like it today. I'll be there tomorrow though. And like that was okay.
These people, they must have excellent self-esteem, right? Like I know I have bad self-esteem, so I hate letting people down.
Right.
But I see these people like, nah, I'm just not feeling it today. Like, wow, your parents must have instilled some really good self-esteem in you.
my parents would have kicked my ass if I did stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Ugh.
They'd be like, no, get out of bed. Go to work, you idiot. Come on, let's go.
Well, speaking of people who decide to just not show up for work certain days, we've got a new patron this week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so we've got... I want to say that this is one of those names, like, if you say it fast,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be sexually charged because I looked on Patreon and they changed their name.
Huge ass.
No, and see, now I'm gonna feel like a dick if it's not. But whatever. I'm already this deep into it. We've got a new Rigid fan, Alex Stillhard.
I don't know, Alex. I mean, I'm looking at him right now on Patreon. His email is actually alex.stillhard at. I won't say the last part of that just so I don't dox him. So I don't know. Either he registered an email account for this prank, or that's actually his name. And if that's actually his name, that's a great name.
That is a strong.
The applause, I like it.
But see, then on Patreon, he's got the little cat as his photo, but it just comes up as still hard.
Right.
No.
Right.
Well, Alex, I just have to say, if we're bandwagoning onto something that's been beat to death in your childhood, we sincerely apologize, but we do appreciate your support and being a patron.
I like these people who have names that just get them. Everybody makes the same joke their entire life. Like how many still hard jokes has Alex heard?
Yeah, probably heard all of them. You're probably desensitized by them now.
Yeah. But every time you meet a new person who thinks they're moderately funny, they have to take a crack at making a joke about your name.
I think what I would do is make like an Excel sheet or something like that.
Oh.
Every time somebody makes this reference or this joke for my name, I'd be like, you're 753. And like show it to them.
You can have like a little frequency distribution of certain jokes.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I can tell you people that I guarantee are relentless with making terrible jokes. And that's our returning top tier patrons.
Hell yeah.
We've got Dadu, Luke Schmidt, Derek Jennings at Bacantry Designs, Corey Duvall, Jason Price at Priceless Pro Designs, Scott Eastman at EC's Woodshop, and I don't know, something's going on with Patreon. I still haven't found our power cocker, formerly known as Wes, on Patreon. But we just talked to him. I don't know what the hell is going on there.
Okay, maybe he's still having some trouble with the law.
We are so sad. So wait, hold on. Oh no, it says he's. Oh my god, it says he's not in a tier, but
because he does a custom amount, so maybe he's his own tier.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, he's a great supporter of the show.
Yes,
and we appreciate that. But
very much so.
If you want to get access to the after show where we answer all your questions, have a whole nother show, get access to the Discord server, join the whole community, get merch, t-shirts, all kinds of stuff like that. Support the show over at patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. And what do we always say, Zach?
Every dollar that goes to us is a dollar that does not go to the green suitors. Oh yes, thank you. I was looking for the sound effect as I was saying that.
Absolutely smoked them. Well, so this is something I've had on the list for a while, and I wanted to ask you if you knew anything about it. And I'm fishing for it in my drawer.
I can hear
from the microwave.
I hear your Tic Tac collection rattling around there.
Okay, so I'm going to hold this up, and actually, before I do, I'm going to visually describe it to people. So, it's a black thing. I would say it's approximately the size of 2 postage stamps that has a USB port at the end of it. So it looks like that to Zach.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
I would assume it's some sort of flash drive, but
Flash drive would be a great way to describe it for people visually of how it.
Yes.
Okay, so what this is, and I heard John from Lincoln Street talk about it, and you actually might be familiar with this because I know you're a tech nerd. Have you heard of the tech channel on YouTube called, like, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, like Linus Tech Tips or something?
Oh,
Linus?
yeah. Linus Tech Tips, yes.
So,
Fellow Canadian.
Huge account, right? I don't know, it's probably what, 10 plus million subs or something?
Yeah, I think he might even be like 15 to 20 range.
But huge.
Yeah.
So I guess a couple months ago, his account got hacked. And I know when everybody hears that, they go, "Boy, this guy just had his password, said his password 123. Why didn't he have two-factor authentication or whatever?" Okay, he did. Like, he runs an entire team. Like, probably he said he has ridiculous passwords, ridiculous two-factor authentication, stuff like that. And he still got hacked. They actually had a video about it that went into like all the tech stuff, which is wild.
Yeah, very interesting. I actually watched that video. Very interesting how the hacker did it.
So do you probably understand it better than I do? Can you distill it down and explain it to people?
Sure. So basically, when you're logged into a website, the first time you go there, you usually have to enter your password. But then the second time and the third time, usually you don't have to enter your password to keep going, to stay logged into the same website.
Right.
And the way your computer does this is with a cookie. So it's basically just a very small file that stays on your computer, and it has an authorization token that in this case YouTube reads and says, okay, this computer is linked to this account. I don't need to ask them for the password every time they logged in.
Right.
So what happened to Linus Tech Tips is they didn't steal his password. They didn't guess his password. They actually stole that browser token, that cookie.
Right.
So, and it's kind of tricky because, you don't necessarily think to protect that. And I think the way they did it was through a fake sponsorship offer to the channel.
That was my understanding, is he basically clicked on like a PDF or something like that, which we get all the time.
All the time.
And it probably looked moderately legit, like probably didn't set off any of the red flags of, "Hello, dear, we love channel. Need sponsor?"
Yeah.
Like, stuff where you're just like, I'm not clicking on anything on here. It probably looks super legit.
Yeah.
And as a channel that's that large, you can very quickly become a target of stuff like that, I've got to imagine.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually kind of paranoid about it now, too.
No.
Yeah.
But so anyway, this little USB drive, for lack of a better word, you can get multiple of them, like different styles, different USBs, or like just like the wireless NFC, the near field communication version of them.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, and you can link it to tons of different accounts. Like, I log into Google, so now I have to put in my username, my password. You have to do like the two-factor authentication, and then you have to use this thing called a security key.
Okay.
So this is like a physical thing that you have to have with you in order to log in. So if somebody were to get my password, like my email, my password, and somehow be able to get like the text message that goes to your phone or whatever, they still can't log in unless they have this.
Okay, interesting.
So it's like an extra layer.
How does that work? Does that have to be plugged into any drive on your computer?
So for my computer, I would basically just take it, stick it in. Think of like sticking a key into your car or something like that. I put it in, and I tap the little gold button on it, and it activates it.
Yeah, that's actually a physical button.
Yeah, and so what that is by you pressing it, it almost like instantly types in like a super strong or a super long key of text or whatever. And then it has authenticated that for Google, like this specific code on here is like the only way to get into it or whatever. But you get multiple of these. If I would lose one of these, you buy like 3 or 4 of them.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you now gone to all of those services and set it up so that every time you go to the site, you have to log in? Because I don't know that that necessarily protects you from that same attack.
I know. That's the problem is some of them you still would have to physically log out every single time.
Which is, there's always this trade-off between convenience and security, right? Anything that makes your life easier and simpler is, at the end of the day, inevitably some sort of security risk on some level.
Yeah. So, like, I know that isn't the solution, but it's
a nice added layer.
Right. It's an added layer that I think is at least beneficial for people to know about. So, the one and this is not sponsored whatsoever. But
you have an affiliate code, right?
No. Yubico. Yubico.
Okay. I might look into that. I have it set up so that it'll send not a text message to my phone, but like a little notification will just pop up on my phone saying, hey, are you logging into Gmail right now from like a Windows computer in Toronto?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yes, I am.
It's like what Google Smart Key or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
That's a good one for people to be aware of because, I mean, that shit's scary, man.
That is very scary. And, this is one of the biggest channels on YouTube. Their channel was down for a few days. I'm sure that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue. But they had to go multiple days. They have direct lines to YouTube. Right. Like, I'm sure they have a YouTube agent assigned to their channel.
Oh, yeah.
And it still took them days to get it back. So imagine just poor schmucks like us.
Oh, we would be screwed. I mean, maybe I don't even know. I've never had this conversation, but might be able to have some luck with Mark and his team.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. It scared the hell out of me hearing stuff like that happening to people.
Yeah. It
what
is.
Do you do?
I don't know. Yeah. Linus Tech Tips essentially has the digital equivalent of a really nice mansion. And he got burglarized, right? And we're building up these digital properties. Like, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up little, like, digital empires, essentially, right? Yeah. And as soon as you build anything of value or you have anything of value, you do become a little bit of a target.
Yeah.
And so it's you always have to have your guard up.
Right. I mean, there's some basic things that you can do to protect yourself from stuff like this. One, don't use the same password on everything.
Yes.
And definitely don't have your password as your dog's name, a number, exclamation point.
Here's a little tip that I'm going to tip my security hand here a little bit, but I don't think it's that bad. Use a sentence instead of a password. It's kind of easier to remember. It's a lot more characters. Some websites won't allow you to do it because there's like character limits, but it's actually pretty easy to remember like a 10-word sentence. And then all of a sudden you're up to like 50 characters. But you can bang it out really quickly. You're not, doing crazy exclamation marks and question marks. You
could do like, do you have 6 fat cats in your backyard?
Exactly.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's clever. I like that.
So you basically prevent anybody from being able to ever brute force their way into your account. It's still easy to remember. It's a lot more digits. I don't know. It's just something I like to do.
Right. And I've got to imagine nobody actually runs brute force attacks on people's passwords anymore.
No, I think that's a thing of the past.
So I guess we should say, for people who don't know, what's a brute force attack on your password?
Brute force is you just start with A. You try that. Okay, that didn't work. Go to AAAAB. Okay, that didn't work. Go to AAAAC, and you just work your way through the entire alphabet. There are more advanced ways to do it now. So what you can do is you can get a dictionary of words, and it just starts plugging in different dictionary words. Because most people's password is an actual word, right? And then it starts combining words and then combining letters and numbers and, adding suffixes and prefixes.
Right.
So there's smarter ways to do it.
More sophisticated ones will use just social media as well.
Right.
To hunt keywords.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the idea behind putting your passwords capital A, lowercase x, underscore, hashtag, %, BNV, like stuff like that. That's going to be one of the last things they're ever going to check. And if your password string or number of characters next to each other is above a certain limit, there's actually calculations that can prove that even the fastest computers in the world, they wouldn't be able to brute force their way through that within a lifetime.
Have you ever gotten the alert on Google that your name, your email address and password have shown up in a leaked document?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky when it happens. I actually have this old email account that I don't use anymore, and Google has an alert for it that's like, this account this combination of password and email has been compromised on 50 different websites.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it was like an old email address. I used the same email and the same password for everything.
Right.
So when they got one account, they started going to all these other accounts, and
yeah, it's scary. But yeah, everybody just be smart. You know, that's why, especially now, if people send me a link on Instagram, even if I know them, I will not click it.
Yes.
I
won't. Yeah, the only way I'll click it is if it's I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, it has to be somebody I know in real life.
But even then,
I know even then they might have had their account hijacked. I get this all the time. Actually, people will say "Hey, can you help me out? I'm in this. Will you vote for me in this contest or something like that?"
No.
I get those all the time, and then it's a link to something. And it's, I get it at volume because I have a decent amount of followers on Instagram.
Right.
So when it happens in waves and a bunch of people get compromised by the same scam, I see it 10 times. But if it just popped up from your close friend and you only follow 100 people or whatever, that's pretty convincing. If if your friend was like, "Hey, I'm involved in this digital contest, would you support me here?" You'd probably do it.
You just gotta be vigilant, because this stuff comes up and people get their accounts taken over all the time. But that's still the one thing I get from that YouTube video I put out about my account getting hacked and stuff like that. I get probably 3 to 5 messages a day from people saying, "Hey, can you help me? Can you help me?"
Oh, really?
I always just reply back with the honest truth.
Yeah.
Of, I no longer have contacts with the person who helped.
Yeah, it's good.
Which is honest. But no, I really need your help. I'm sorry. If you saw the video, you know that I tried all kinds of stuff and it didn't work, and I just got lucky.
There's going to be services in the future, I imagine. There's already, I assume, identity fraud. I don't know, fixers, essentially, for lack of a better term.
In the US, you can get there are certain companies you can it's almost like insurance. It's like identity theft insurance.
Yeah.
So if you would get your identity stolen, you basically have paid money to have somebody do all of the legal groundwork for you.
Yes. And you talked about something similar to this for social media. Some company approached you, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what it's called, and I don't even know if they're still. It was a startup when they had reached out to me. It was somehow they said every time you would post something, they'd back it up somewhere and create a mirror of your account. So if you did get hacked, that they would just launch your mirror account and
just
then
switch the username or whatever.
Yeah. And it's when people would follow your main account, they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to get notified in the event that this person's account gets taken over, where their new information would be?"
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. You're probably like me. You get hit with these proposals from companies all the time that might be a startup, or are you interested in learning about this? I'd be like,
sure,
but the vast majority of those never go anywhere.
No, No, I mean a lot, and I can't fault them for trying. You have to kind of test the market and see what's out there. See if your service is valuable to people, right?
Right.
So how else are you going to know unless you sit down and talk with a bunch of content creators? So
Yeah.
Most startups fail, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like the Green Suitors podcast. That's been a failure from the start. Well, I don't want to judge myself. I was going to say, I don't think this podcast has been a failure, but we're well over an hour. I want to head over to the after show. We got a bunch of questions to answer. And
I got a question for you that I need some advice on something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it juicy?
It's pretty juicy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you listening. As always, we are going to head over to the after show, and we'll see you. We're not going to see these. You can listen to us next week.
We'll see you next week. Yeah, there you go. Some people are watching right now on YouTube. Check out the live stream, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I know everybody's tuned out now, so I feel like we need to give people who actually listen to the end of the show like a special something.
Oh, a little special bonus?
You got anything?
No, I got nothing.
Yeah, me neither. Damn.
Next time.
We'll get you next time. All right, everybody. We're out of here.
See you, people.